Are you a boy or a girl? Just kidding, it doesn't affect the game's storyline, so it doesn't matter. Welcome to the wonderful world of Pokemon. You can call me... Sorry, force of habit. This is what happens when you work for Game Freak. Hi, I'm an employee of Game Freak. This company has been around since 1989, and ever since then we've been focused on one thing, trying to get Pokemon off the ground. Believe it or not, early on it was actually pretty hard. Throughout the early 90s, we had to work on little projects for Nintendo just to keep ourselves afloat, and work on our grand masterpiece known as Pokemon. And like Professor Oak, when we heard you beat the Elite Four, we came. And ever since then, Game Freak hasn't changed, doesn't want to change, and in fact, doesn't need to change. You know exactly what you're getting when you buy a Pokemon game, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, as a company, that's one thing we do right. We don't nickel and dime our own fans. You may say that all the games are the same, that they all follow the same basic storyline, and that Game Freak releases 2 versions of the same game each time just to easily double their profits. And all of these arguments are valid, and usually made by someone who doesn't actually play Pokemon. Now, a person who does play Pokemon might ask, why are we sending a 10-year-old child out into the world alone with a dangerous monster? Now, not all of these monsters are dangerous. This one shoots water. This one can produce a bunch of leaves. This one shoots fire. There's no other way around it. It literally produces fire. In the Pokemon universe, there's no Amber Alert. Otherwise, Drifloon wouldn't exist. Pokedex, can you please bring up the entry for Drifloon in Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver? It is whispered that any child who mistakes Drifloon for a balloon and holds onto it could wind up missing. Splendid. Now I'm sure that's just Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Drifloon are called the signpost for wandering spirits. Children holding onto them sometimes vanish. Ah, creepy. Drifloon stories go that it grabs the hands of small children and drags them away to the afterlife. It dislikes heavy children. Okay, that's just rapey. Now there are some other points I could make about the logical errors within our game. For instance, you can't catch a Pokemon if it's fainted, but if it's asleep... Perfectly reasonable. When you meet someone for the first time, is it ever okay to ask, are you a boy or are you a girl? Hey, get out of here. You're not even a Pokemon. And by the way, I can ride my bicycle wherever I want, whenever I want, even if it's inside. How the hell can you see me, Professor Oak? You're like 3 towns over. Just because you have a PhD doesn't mean you have the right to boss people around, Professor. Why? I don't consent. If you cross into the line of sight of another Pokemon trainer, you have to fight them. You have no choice. They'll just run right up to you and then poof, you're in the middle of a Pokemon battle. I hate you so much, Joey. I'm gonna kill that Rattata, you mother. So you're in the middle of fighting an Entei. It's down to 1 health, it's paralyzed, and you just put it to sleep, and it runs away. How is that possible? But seriously, if you're watching this, we've probably been around since you were a little kid, and most likely, you've played with at least one of us. Stop it. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it! So if your argument is Game Freak wouldn't be anything without Pokemon, I would just say Pokemon wouldn't exist without Game Freak. So what's your point? Can we just accept the fact that a franchise has been an overwhelmingly positive influence on our life? Because guess what? It can. Jackasses. Stop it. Game Freak. If it ain't broke, franchise it. Thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a like and a share. Also, if you want to donate to the show, head over to patreon.com/gamingwildlife, and you could receive some cool perks for your support. Okay, Joey, your Rattata sucks. I don't care if it's in the top tier of Rattata, it's still a Rattata. It's a terrible Pokemon. I don't care if you leveled it up to Raticate. You can't take a Raticate to the Elite Four. I hate you so much, Joey. Stop calling me.